Yeah. You are now tuned in to the Stitch Sham Show. I am one half of the crew, Sham Phoenix.
And I am the other half, Stitch Early.
And we had a rough night last night. That's all I know.
Entertaining.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Before we get started, we are sponsored by Icon Nation.
Yes.
Good folks at Icon Nation, as you can see by the apparel that we are.
Dawning.
Yeah, there we are. I was like, I wasn't ready for that word. I like that one. That was pretty good. We got a lot of stuff for y'all today, man. As you all know, there was a presidential debate last night between the acting president, Donald Trump, and the former vice president, Joe Biden.
And the word acting is very like that is a great word.
He's an acting president because I hope he won't be in there. So, after I laid down last night, right? Directly after the debate, I called Stitch, and we had a conversation. We knew we were going to talk about it today.
Yeah,
hands down.
We ended up moving some stuff.
Yeah, we ended up was we're going to have to move some things around because this is just too good to pass up.
For sure.
But after kind of thinking. Chris Wallace asked two questions that were of equal value, but because of the state of black culture and social justice here in America, I think we might have bypassed Joe Biden's actual thing to answer and missed it because of the answer that Donald Trump gave about white supremacy. So Joe Biden in an almost equal question was asked, do you support Black Lives Matter? He didn't answer the question.
Okay.
He went directly to not defunding the police and giving the police training. That to me is as equal as saying white supremacy. It may be, let me not say equal. It may be diluted just a bit. Like somebody poured water on it just a little bit.
It's the thing of I'm gonna say enough.
Yes.
I'm gonna say enough. But I'm not going to say too much to fully jump over.
Yes, because I don't want to lose.
Because I don't want to lose the people who which I saw a lot of that last night. Yeah. Like a lot of things that each of them wouldn't say.
Yeah.
To where it's like, man, I don't want to lose.
I don't want to lose
my
vote.
base.
Yeah.
Like, and if I say certain things, my base might go like, hey, I heard what you said last night. I'm not really rocking with that.
But in the wake of all of that, initially Donald Trump came out hot. I was like, okay. He's really kind of winning this debate right now, like the first two questions. But like time always does with Donald Trump, he just starts talking crazy. This guy said, I was gonna say Bama, for those is Maryland slang. Well, I am gonna say this Bama.
Yeah, that's exactly
was asked about wildfires, and he was like, "There's a lot of trees and leaves in the forest."
Remember, he talked about Spain or something, didn't he? He said, because I've talked to the governor, and he was talking about some other country, and he was like, and they said over there that they have some trees, but they don't. The wood catches fire a lot quicker than the trees that they have in California, and we haven't had a forest fire yet. I was just sitting there like what? And then he was talking about how these things need to be changed. You're the president.
You're supposed to do that.
And it's been wildfires over these last 4 years too.
Oh man. So then, I'm trying to do the lighthearted stuff first because the white supremacy thing caught fire on in any platform you can think of.
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
yeah.
Anything you could think of, it caught fire. People were like, "Oh, this dude did not denounce white supremacy." So we're going to tackle the lighter things. Well, not really lighter, but just the more tolerable things that you can talk about. Also in this debate, which is the thing that I probably took the hardest, I would never ever expect Donald Trump to denounce white supremacy. I didn't expect him to do it. Didn't think he would do it. Even if asked the question, I just wouldn't. But for those who know, Joe Biden has lost his wife, I think a daughter, a son to cancer. The wife and his first wife and daughter were to a car accident. His son Bo died of cancer, and the acting president, Donald Trump, basically on stage was like, yo, your son got a coke problem. Like, just, I mean, you know, and if you are aware and have some tact about a man who has lost his family, right? Like, lost a son to cancer, all of these things, those type of things you would want to be a little bit like, nah, we're not going to, especially when your son shows up to the RNC high as a kite.
Yeah. And see, for me, in watching last night, I always say, like, you can't, disappointment comes with expectation.
Yes.
So oftentimes, like, we may expect something, and then when we don't, when that expectation is not met, that then comes like man, I had thought it was going to be this.
Yeah.
Over watching Donald Trump over his presidency, my expectation is what happened last night. Yeah. My expectation of Donald Trump is when I'm backed into a corner, I go into my joke bag. Yeah. I go into my, let me hit you at your core. What have you done for the last 47 years? Your son is on coke. Let me talk about stuff that has nothing to do
with running the country.
With what is actually at the forefront.
Yeah.
So he did it to Hillary.
Yeah.
He did it to Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
It was that thing of like, okay, you're kind of giving facts.
Yeah. So
let me now low blow you.
Yeah.
And now with the low blow, because what it did was you seen kind of Biden, you saw him kind of come off of what you seen that he came prepared to debate.
Yeah.
Trump was like, I mean, we'll do that, but
I'm talking about you.
But I'm about to talk about you. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about you enough to get you off of your square.
Yeah.
So that you now almost come, and of course Biden is not gonna fully go over there, but the shut up clown and like those are like all of those things were things.
You're yapping, man.
You know what I mean?
That's how they quit you yapping, man.
And like all of those things are things that he might not typically do.
Yeah.
But then when this is the person,
you're like all gloves are off.
All gloves are off and everything. So
yeah.
It was one of those things to where I still feel like Trump lost.
Yeah.
To me, in the sense of it became less about the issues and it became more about oh man, the back and forth. That's why like when I posted last night and was like the grumpier old men. Yeah. Like that is exactly what it looked like. It just looked like two old dudes.
It was Ralph and Mortimer.
Yep, that was sitting on the porch and they was just having the argument back and forth about who ate the pudding. Yeah. Like that was that's what it was.
Yeah. Cause like I don't even think they really got to any policy stuff technically. Like
I don't even really and they may have.
That's what I'm saying.
But it was so
much going on
to where even the moderator
he was like, "Listen, Mr. President."
Yep. He was like, "If you want to switch places, we can switch places."
That sounds like a straight mom.
Yeah.
Do you want to have to take care of you?
Exactly. Like
it was so crazy because like I said yesterday I made a post a couple posts as well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like both of them are unqualified to be the president of the United States.
Yeah.
But I would trust Joe Biden a little bit more, even though he's still like a skip of a rock. Like, but I would trust him more because he's actually been in a political position for a long period of time. Donald Trump has never been in any political. I don't even understand.
Donald Trump is a celebrity.
How he Arnold Schwarzenegger the United States of America. What? And even Arnold Schwarzenegger did an okay job as a governor.
And the thing is, the one thing that Donald Trump is good at is Donald Trump is good at like the temperature check.
Yeah.
Yo, let me see where everybody else is leaning and let me play to that hand.
Yeah.
Let me play to that hand, and now that I've played to that hand, once I get it, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
But if I can tell you something and that's gonna get you on my side.
Yeah.
And now that I got the whole squad behind me, now I can be like, okay, so now that I'm in the position, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, and
that's what happened.
And it's just so crazy. So like again, Joe Biden is asked about supporting Black Lives Matters. He talks about not doing that, and he just doesn't answer the question.
Yeah.
And talks about he doesn't want to defund the police. He wants to give the police
them
more money so that they can get better training
They
and
have
have
psychiatrists with them. And,
I guess like add-ons to their, like their daily routines, having somebody there to, check them and de-escalate and things like that, which all sound good.
Yeah.
And I understand they'll probably never do it, but
in reality, it's one of those things that like how real is that gonna be able to happen?
You're like, so you want them to just ride around with a psychiatrist
just
in
the back seat, and then if somebody hop out, all right, assess this
calm
person
yourself,
first. Now after you assess them, now y'all go do y'all.
Yeah, I was like, nah. I understand what you're trying to say.
But
it sounds good, but again, the question of the night, Chris Wallace asks our acting president, will you basically denounce white supremacy in America? Our president said, I'll do anything that it takes. I'll do it. And then when it comes time, so they like, so do it. And he's like, what do you want me to call them?
What do you want me to say?
He was like, white supremacy. Like, Chris Wallace was like, white supremacists.
Like,
he was like, and then it got kind of like heated. And then in the heat of the passion, he goes, Proud Boys, stand down and stand by. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, hold up, wait a minute.
He didn't say stand down.
He didn't just say stand down. He said stand down and stand by. So I immediately went to my phone and was like, who the heck are Proud Boys?
Yeah.
Well, I look it up, and it is a they don't put Nazi. They just put a neo-fascist group, which to me means neo-Nazi, organization of white men. Basically a militia. There's also, if you guys have the time to, you can go on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere. Donald Trump Jr., they are now starting a Defend Your Vote Trump Army to stand on post at ballot areas to make sure that people aren't cheating. Which to me is really weird because you have a whole Russian collusion for your first presidency, and now all of a sudden you want to make sure things are fair.
Because I've heard people talk about it and say like Donald Trump's not gonna leave the White House.
Oh,
like his hopes is that it is a close, like Biden win, and Biden can like if it is a Biden win that it's close enough for him to be able to say, nah, hold up, it's because stuff is off. I was supposed to win that. This is my state to win, and he won that state by a few votes. Oh, hold on, we're gonna have to go back and do a recount.
As he said, they found absentee ballots with Trump on them in the river. I don't know what river it was, but it was in the river. And in the paper waste basket. Not a trash can, paper waste basket. He said he found ballots that had Trump on them in the paper. And he never told the location of where he found these paper waste baskets or the location of the river that had the Trump ballots in them. And if there were Trump ballots in the river in the trash can, that's exactly where they belong.
Yeah, 1,000%. Agreed.
That's exactly where they belong. So you didn't even say that. The only people that are going to be upset about them being in the river are the people that support you. I don't support you, so I don't care that they're in the river.
I don't really care. Yeah, exactly.
No, they could be in the river for all I care.
Yeah, that's your man.
But it was just so crazy because to have a national broadcast where a white man, a white president, basically says, "White militia, stand down and just hold off until I give you the word."
Yeah.
Because I am going to need you.
Because that's what it sounded like to me. It sounded like when you tell somebody,
it was a hootie hoo.
Don't still off on him yet. Yep. I just need to find out if he did what he did.
It's a hootie hoo.
For real? Hey, get to work.
Yeah.
Like that's what.
It was just, I don't know. It was a weird. The whole debate was weird. And the whole.
That joint was an argument.
It was.
It's like they
were standing on opposite porches.
Yeah, and they was just arguing back and forth like that. That's just
you be having your dog in my lawn.
Yep, it was just like I'm a tit for tat. I'm gonna go back and forth.
It was crazy.
He's like, each of y'all have 2 minutes to say something with nobody talking, but y'all, neither one of them got 2 minutes. Like it was always like, oh, see this? Nah, that's not even like that. Like,
he was like, so you guys don't understand the rules of the game at all.
Man, and I think that's why the mediator. That's why he was getting tight.
Listen,
he was getting tight.
Like I said, we have a PG show, but I felt like he almost said "shut the f
Yeah.
up" to them too. Like I felt like
y'all
that.
don't just sit there.
I felt like that energy was coming
Yeah, man.
because he was getting frustrated.
Very much so.
He was like, "Listen, I don't like. Come on, man.
Very much
like
so,
who gave me
man.
this? Like I felt like he would have been like, who gave me this
Yeah.
job? Who told me to do this?
Like he was about to throw all. Hey, Donald, be quiet.
Yeah,
Like,
it was crazy,
That's
man.
what it was coming to.
He was like, yeah, it was so entertaining that like you could go on any platform while this was happening and just watch the comments just raining in. And like I've never seen people comment on people's posts, like multiple posts.
Yeah.
Like I'm commenting on this post,
Yo,
and this
comment on
post,
this
and this post, and this post, because
Yeah.
that's true. That's right. I'm laughing over here. I'm really upset over here with this comment. I'm getting the facts here. It was just like the world was lit for that hour and a half.
Nah, and it was literally like everybody was tuned in.
Yeah.
Because I remember we were about to watch something on Hulu, and then it was on there. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Oh,
let's
watch this.
watch this joint. Man,
He was like,
I was sitting in that
yo.
joint like, y'all is wildin'.
Yo.
I was like, and this is who we, and watching it was like, this is who we are.
This is it.
Like, this is
Yo,
who we got to pick from.
That was the most, like, what you said last night on Facebook was the most accurate thing ever because I've been in that predicament.
Yeah.
I'm lactose.
And that's what when I was like, I said to my wife, I was like, man, this joint is like a person who's lactose intolerant, and they go somewhere and they like, look, is all we got is cheesecake or milkshakes, and you gotta pick one.
Yep. Because you already in here.
Because you in here, so you have to pick one.
Yep. And I can't give you a refund because you already paid your admission
So
fee.
you got and you
gotta
have to
choose
take
one.
something.
You be
And
like-
the person got to be like, man, my stomach is gonna be jacked up either way, but which one is gonna jack it up less?
Yeah. So I'll take it. Like for me, cheesecake would be a lesser evil for
Yeah,
me.
you know what I'm saying?
So I'm just hoping that cheesecake isn't Donald Trump.
Yeah, I seen somebody posted under that joint was like, "Hey, just don't pick whichever one's not orange. Like, just pick whichever one isn't orange."
Yep. Oh, that shout out to Sherman.
Yep, that joint
Yep.
was funny.
That it was so crazy. I was like, man, this stuff is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
It is, man. Like, it's almost unreal because I remember when Barack Obama was president and seeing those debates.
Yeah.
Even seeing some of the debates from the last election.
Yeah.
This one was like the most I've seen people like tuned in,
It was hood.
entertained, like back and forth, like you waiting for somebody to come up and be like, hey, cut his mic.
Yeah.
Cut it. Like that's what I was waiting. Hey, cut his mic.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I ain't gonna lie though. If I had been Biden and he had talked about my son Hunter like that, it's gonna turn. I'm coming. Like cut my mic off.
Election over.
Debate is over. We fighting right there on camera.
Yeah, Trump don't want no problems.
Yeah.
They had pictures of Trump. I mean, he must have had like a sew-in. And so there was a picture of like, I guess his hair was lifted wherever in the back the sew-in was. And so you could see the, you know how like when women get their joint, they put the cap on.
Yeah.
And you could see like the,
Oh, he got a
you
cap?
could see the joint.
Man. Trump don't got no wig cap
They
on,
said
man.
Trump got a wig cap on, son. I was like, and they zoomed in on that joint. They was like, yo, Trump got a sew-in.
That
Like,
joint.
I was like, why is
He
it
be up
back
there, he be
here?
out there like this.
He probably don't got none of this.
Like I'm tired of Joe Biden for real though.
That joint is funny.
That
man.
joint was crazy. Yeah, it was extremely entertaining and extremely wild, and I was just like, I can't wait for November 3rd to come so we can just get
Just
this
so you
over
can do
with.
it, get it over with. Because even
Yeah.
last night, it was one of those things that afterwards, like staying up late watching it, I was like, man, I need to put something else on. Like that can't
Yeah.
be the last thing that
I
I
watch
see
Barbershop.
before I go to sleep. I just turned on YouTube and just
Just
started
watch
watching
whatever's
ESPN
on there.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I was watching basketball stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me see if anybody did any interviews in the league.
Yeah.
You know
Which,
what I mean?
which sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
So to all those, we know that we have the election coming up. Please go out and vote.
Yes.
Like, if that's what they telling us is going to help us get out of this mess, then let's give it a shot.
Let's do it. Yeah,
Let's just see what happens. But you got to get out there. You got to vote.
Because you can't not vote, and then it don't go
Yeah.
your way, and you like, man, see,
Yeah.
I told you. Like,
And-
nah, you didn't do nothing.
And make sure you protect your vote. Make sure things are solid. I know Trump has his precautions, and I think the rest of the world should have theirs about him. So just make sure that you're protecting your vote. But please do get out and vote because it is do or die out here in these streets, especially with the presidency of the United States. and with our future as a people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And this is not even, I ain't even talking about black, white, nothing. I'm talking about the
people.
human race here on Earth, in the United States. It is do or die for us, and we really gotta, if we want to protect the things that we've worked so hard for, because as you can see with the coronavirus and the lack of instruction and leadership with that, people have lost a lot, man. They've lost loved ones, they've lost things that they've worked hard for, and it's just, I don't think it's necessary. And I feel like when you work hard, you should be rewarded, and you shouldn't allow anything to be, nothing should be allowed to be taken from you when you work hard for something, honestly. So please get out there and vote. And speaking of working hard, the Denver Nuggets were eliminated last week.
They tried.
They are tough.
Yeah.
They're a tough team.
Yeah.
The reason why I would commend them over any other team that the Lakers played is because of the road that they took to get there. And I love an underdog. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic really played really, really well.
Like Jamal Murray,
he's tough.
Tough.
I don't like him flopping in the air, but he's tough.
Yeah, he's tough. He does flop in the air a lot.
It'd be like no one hit you, Jamal.
He does.
Nobody
he does
hit
do
you.
a lot of, because it was the one joint on LeBron where LeBron goes straight up and he pushes LeBron over.
And he's like, oh.
falls
he's like,
joint.
okay, all right.
And then they don't call enough, and it's like, yo, you didn't call it.
See it? And it's like, no,
that was
you didn't do. You did
that was all
yourself.
you.
Yeah. So they were really tough, but in that essence, our dude LeBron James, if you ever want to come and interview on the show, we would always be open.
We would move the seats over.
We would move all the seats.
You know what I'm saying?
We won't have no seats in there if that's what you don't want.
Whatever
if you want to stand,
whatever
we got
you would like for the interview.
But our guy is headed back to the NBA Finals for the 10th time, and
possibly to win his fourth.
Possibly to win his fourth. The debates are that LeBron James isn't one of the greatest to ever play. I stopped doing the Michael Jordan debate, and I stopped arguing the Michael Jordan debate because at this point it doesn't even make sense. There's no way to measure up. They didn't play each other.
Yeah.
I think they might have played one time or was Jordan in the league during that time?
I think they
did play one time while Jordan was with the Wizards. They might have, right? Maybe they did. Maybe they did.
That was because it was early 2000s.
Yeah, so maybe they did.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't.
It might have been his rookie year.
So. I had to look it up.
Because he came in 03.
Because he came in 03.
So it might have been his rookie
Jordan
year.
was with the Wizards
in 03?
In 2002. Yeah, he was with the Wizards.
Yeah, he might have been there. I'm not too for sure.
We'll look it up.
Yeah, we'll look it up. But there's no way to really to compare the two. And just for me and again, I'm not a big guy on if you get to the championship and win it, you could be considered great. Because there's so many factors, like even with Tom Brady, right? We know that Tom Brady, due to some of the reports about how the Patriots were doing things, some of those things might be a little questionable.
Might be a little tainted.
You know what I mean? There's people who have gotten championships that I've been like, no. So I don't measure people's greatness, an individual player's greatness off of championships because it takes a team to get
in order to. Yeah, and I think in the talks of LeBron James, the thing for me that kind of took it out of the MJ versus LeBron type thing is I think that LeBron is probably one of the first ones that was able to get out of Jordan's shadow.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, we had the Harold Miners, we had the Grant Hills.
Yeah.
We had all of those guys that came in where people was like, yo, he might be the next Jordan. He might be the next Jordan. And they never necessarily got over that hill of becoming their own entity.
Yeah.
Whereas, what was yours?
You just brought up somebody, but I'm going to wait because I think it's a great point to make.
Okay. Whereas LeBron became LeBron James.
Yeah.
LeBron is LeBron James. There's you don't go LeBron James, but.
Yeah.
It's LeBron is LeBron. Just like Kobe was able to, Kobe was Kobe, but there were so many aspects of Kobe's game that were Jordan's game that when you watched Kobe, you thought of Jordan.
Yeah, that's it.
When I watch LeBron, I never think of Michael Jordan at all. I just think of, that's LeBron.
That's LeBron James, yep.
Yeah, he was somebody that reverenced Jordan and even LeBron talked about how Allen Iverson was one of his favorite players that he
Yeah.
watched coming up and things like that. So I think in that aspect of all of the guys that came in the league, and of course a lot of them it was injuries and things like that that caused them not to become. But LeBron, I would say, might be the only, or one of the only, I'm not going to say only because I don't know for sure, superstars that surpassed the expectation that was placed upon them.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
nobody was like, oh, Jordan's going to be the next great guy.
No one
Nobody
said
was
that.
like, oh, Kobe is going to be the next great guy.
It took a while before people could realize that this guy was, okay,
Yeah.
Mike's next level.
Mike's next level.
Yeah.
With LeBron, it was Chosen One, King James, Sports Illustrated, 16 years old. Like, it was that, oh, he's going to come into the league. There was already expectation there.
Mm-hmm.
And 17 years later, we're looking and he's in another NBA Finals.
You'd be like, what?
And you're like, man, you surpassed the expectation that everybody placed out there. Whereas you had a lot of guys who came into the league with expectation, and it was like, man, they didn't quite match that. Oh, we thought he was going to be the guy,
Yeah.
and it didn't happen.
And that's the thing. The thing I thought about is, like you said, when Grant Hill came in, they initially were like, hey, this guy could be the next Michael Jordan. But Grant was an evolution of himself. He did things that Michael didn't do.
Yeah.
And I think LeBron James is what Grant Hill would have become.
To where it's like people looked at it and then it was like, oh man, hold up. There's other aspects of his game that doesn't necessarily equate with Jordan's game.
Because Grant Hill was a point forward.
Yeah.
He was one of outside of him and Penny were one of the first like point forwards.
Yeah.
But Grant Hill was a legit 6'8".
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Grant Hill was nice.
He was super nice, and he got a lot of triple doubles in his initial come out. So for me, it's just like, man, I just fear that now in America, sometimes we'll miss the actual greatness of a person because we focus so much on the past that it's like, well, he ain't no Mike, he ain't no Mike, he ain't no Mike, he ain't no Mike, and Mike wasn't Mike until Mike became Mike.
Became Mike. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
because even in those first years, it was like, man, this guy is really good,
But he can't get past. He can't get past the first
But
round.
he can't get past the first round. Like, and he got swept before.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one of those things. I think people make it seem as if it's a bad thing to get somewhere 10 times and not win it every time.
Yeah.
Like,
But like
there's
it's
people,
a team. When you break down when you're trying to break down an individual based on a team concept. Winning
Yeah.
a championship is a team concept. Like I said, I believe that the greatest player to ever play in the NBA is
Like,
Allen
I know
Iverson.
yours is, yeah.
Right? I don't believe it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I believe that if the chips, when you think about all the physical things that you could have to be a great player, Mike was of above average height, above average weight.
And even Kobe said it.
Yeah.
Kobe said it, and I was watching
Yeah.
the interview with Allen Iverson, and Steven Jackson had brought up, and like Kobe said, like, man, if AI was 6'8", like, it would be over for everybody. Like, it would be over for everybody because he's doing what he's doing. He's doing what I do at my height at 5'11". You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? So I've always qualified him as the greatest player. I don't have any backing because of all of the other things that people think you need to be a great player, because you have to have a championship, you have to have this, you have to have all these things. So for me, I don't subscribe to winning championships to be a great player, because you got some of the 50 greatest players in the NBA are guys that don't have rings.
And because also, like, for me, like, my favorite player ever is Scottie Pippen.
Okay.
Like, that's my favorite player. I also feel that when you get players like Scottie Pippen who end up being on a team with, like, a Jordan, I feel that if a Scottie Pippen was playing with a LeBron James, I feel you look at him as a greater player than you do when Scottie Pippen is playing with Jordan, because Jordan is a ball dominant person. So what that sometimes causes is that second person, it can cause them to retract a little bit to where it's like, nah, I got to let you work, and then I'll get the ancillary stuff. I'll get everything else.
And Scottie had success.
And then when Jordan wasn't there, Scottie got to the finals with the Blazers. Scottie got to the Eastern Conference Finals with the Bulls without Jordan,
and he also did the Rockets.
Yeah, and they had I think a better record or the same record that they had with Jordan.
It was 57. I think the year prior,
the year before that.
No, the year before they won 57, and then I think after Mike left, they won 55.
So then that was So and so Scotty showed that like, yo, I can do this with the same team minus Mike. They just weren't able to get over the hump. But the fact that I think when you are playing with that type of person, it limits you a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So now when you see that person without it, I'm trying to think of another person that was kind of considered a 2, but then went somewhere else.
James Harden.
And yes, and flourished and was an MVP and everything. But when you look at James Harden at OKC, you go like, man, he's a good player.
Yeah, we had no idea of how good he was.
But you would never put James Harden, when he was with OKC, you never talked about James Harden as how you talked about Westbrook. And here's the case in point. They kept Serge Ibaka over James Harden.
Yes.
So they didn't see it either. Because they was like, yo, he's just a bench player that gives us a lot of points off the bench, but we need this guy Serge.
Yeah.
And Serge didn't give no Serge. The socket was,
was powerless.
Powerless.
Like, that's why I say I hope that we don't get so caught up in the past stuff that we miss what LeBron James has done in this era. And it's been a magnificent thing to think that you can play on 3 different teams and take 3 different teams
to the finals.
Then you are the common denominator.
Like that, the 3 different teams with 3 different types of personnel. Like 3 different types of personnel. So it's like you'll see people that automatically go, oh, he's always had superstars. Like LeBron James has probably played with, I would say, 1 other Hall of Famer. I say maybe 2.
Technically,
I'll say 2.
No, it's gonna be about 5.
How?
Kevin Love will go into the Hall of Fame. I think Kevin Love will go into the Hall of Fame. I think if Kyrie can have some level of consistency.
And, okay, let me say this. I'm talking about solidified.
Oh, solidified? Then just 1.
I'm saying solidified.
Solidified is just 1.
Because my thing, so I see what you're saying. Because then you would put Chris Bosh, you would put Kyrie, you would put.
But then you got to count. This is why it's so hard.
And that's why I say.
You got to count Shaq.
When I say, and what I mean by that, though, is like, I don't.
In their prime. I'm
talking about, like, solidified. Like, when LeBron got Shaq, he got Shaq.
Yeah.
At the end.
So you're saying
so I'm
the
talking
Hall
about,
of Famer that is like
he played with this, and this person helped him win a chip.
Yeah, was in their prime.
Yeah, this person in their prime helped him win a chip. You're gonna say D Wade.
Yeah.
But what everybody will do is everybody will point out the Kevin Loves, everybody will point out Kyrie, who has been injured since college.
Yeah.
Everybody will point out, and then of course now I would say AD now if they win one.
If AD wins this championship, he'll be solidified as a Hall of Famer.
If they win this one, AD. You have AD and Wade, and I think people oftentimes just automatically make it seem like, man, he's just always had the greatest rosters ever in history, and it's like, nah.
Even though on the low, because I don't even think people will even realize this, but right now the Lakers currently have 3 number 1 picks on the team.
Okay.
Anthony Davis. Dwight Howard was a number one pick.
Yeah.
And LeBron James was a number 1 pick.
No, that's true.
Dwight Howard was picked a year after LeBron James at number 1.
Dwight Howard was a beast in the beginning.
Yeah. So it's funny now because
but
you don't remember Dwight being a number 1 pick.
You'll find people that say that. Like, that's going to be someone's argument. He played with 3 number 1 picks. And it's going to be like, because they're going to say, because Kyrie was a number 1.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So they're going to say number 1 pick. Like, and it's like, all right, for real, that's what we're doing.
But none of those number 1 picks turned out like LeBron James.
None of them. None of them at all. They needed him more than he needed them. Yeah. In that sense, you know.
So the Lakers win. The Miami Heat defeat the Celtics to go on to the NBA Finals. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I think the teams are both tough, like really tough guys. I think though, because for the same reason that the Lakers beat the Nuggets, the Lakers have a lot of big bodies that they can just throw out there at Bam and slow Bam down and give Bam make Bam have to take because Bam is very athletic, but the teams that they were playing, like the Celtics, didn't technically have a big guy.
Yeah, and the one that they just had Cancer and Tyson. That's it. And they're not necessarily like it's going to be a different monster because he's playing guys that can do what he do.
Yeah,
like AD can come down, he can bring the ball down, he can dribble, he can shake and bake, he can do all of that. And then after that, Now you have to worry about the length of JaVale. Now you have to
Yeah.
worry about like just the strength of Dwight Howard. You know what I mean? So it's like when that's being thrown
And
at
Dwight
you,
can move.
yeah, and then I think they said like Leonard has only played, I think, like 9 minutes
And the whole playoff?
in the whole since they came to the since the playoffs. So he ain't really even been playing like that.
Yeah.
But
Leonard is a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
He's turned himself into a stretch guy, and I don't know if he can. I don't think he'll be able to hang.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. I don't
Dwight
think that.
now.
Yeah, I don't think that that's going to be a factor. So they don't have as many bigs to where the offensive rebounding and the
Could become a
defensive
problem.
rebounding, that's going to become a problem, and that could really help the Lakers because with the Heat, they have a lot of shooters.
Yeah.
And so if those shots aren't falling and the Lakers is getting those catch and throwouts like they were getting against Denver sometimes.
First of all, they were doing fast breaks off of made
off of made baskets, and then like all of a sudden LeBron's just launching it, AD's launching it.
You'd be like,
y'all had the ball for 2 seconds.
It make you think like, did they miss it? Like, I thought he made it. Like, how did he get down there like that? That jump is crazy.
So they're gonna have to look out for that, and then just having LeBron and AD is just
it's next level.
that joint is it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, and it's in comparison in the sense of like when you had Shaq and Kobe. Of course, it's totally. I'm not saying LeBron and AD is Shaq and Kobe, but just having those two people that when a Derek Fisher or Rick Fox, when those guys are on, and then on top of that, you add the fact that like Kobe is giving you 30 and Shaq is giving you 30, and I got to worry about the other guys being on too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when KCP is hitting, when Kuzma is hitting, you know what I mean? When
it's rough out there.
The Morris brother, when he's hitting, like. It's like, what do we do when everybody is on all cylinders? So.
And I think, too, with having someone like LeBron who has been to the championship before, a player like Eric Spoelstra
and
Pat
Rondo,
Riley,
too.
And Rondo, yes.
Yep,
and Rondo,
too.
That helps ease things because a lot of times for a young team like the Miami Heat, their excitement can make them come out the gate a little quickly, but fizzle out and not learn how to pace themselves throughout a game to make sure that they maintain a certain level of excellence,
poise
and poise and
like if they didn't have Jimmy Butler, I would be like, oh, it's definitely a wrap. Like I think Jimmy Butler will kind of bring a little bit of that. Like as much as Spoelstra will, I feel that like Jimmy Butler is the on-floor coach.
Yeah,
you know, hey, let's settle down. You know what I mean? Like I feel that he'll bring that. I just don't like what you were saying. I just don't think that they have enough.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
They're gonna like in order for them to win, like
they got to shoot lights out.
They're gonna have to shoot like lights out over 60%.
Yeah,
like they're gonna have to like not be missing because you're not gonna get as many rebounds.
No,
like and if you are getting rebounds, it's gonna be those hustle rebounds that's then gonna tire you out because you got to go play defense and come back on offense.
So I think it will be a good series. I am leaning to giving the Miami Heat 2 games. So I think the Lakers will take it in 6.
Yeah, I think in 5.
You think in 5? You think they'll get us 1?
I think it'll be in 5. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be like either the Heat are gonna get the first one.
Yeah.
Or the Heat are gonna get the third.
Okay. I can deal with that. You thought somebody else.
I was like, hold up.
They're about to bust in on us, boy.
Hold up.
They were like, oh, snap, they ran up on him. They were selling coke.
You know what I'm saying?
In the words of
like, hold
our
up.
president.
You know what I mean?
I was, man, that guy's crazy. But yeah, so I think it'll be a good series, and I honestly think that LeBron James will not be Finals MVP. I think AD will be Finals MVP. My long shot is that Alex Caruso will be Finals MVP.
Yo, that joint would be crazy.
That's my long shot. That's like my throw. Like I always throw that out there in addition to because it could happen. It could. I like Alex Caruso.
I have a feeling that like LeBron James not getting the league MVP
is gonna make him get the Finals MVP.
I think that he is going to. I honestly feel that the last game in Denver was kind of like a glimpse. Into where his mind is at. Of like,
this is what you about to get.
Like, all right,
y'all want me to take over? Y'all want me to be that type of guy?
That's who I'm gonna be. I'm ready to go home to my family.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and get this done so I can get up out of here.
I would love to see that. I would love to see him come in and sweep the Miami Heat and him take over.
And take over.
I would love to see that.
And then go home and be like, oh,
I would love to see that. That would be great for me. So I think that starts tonight.
Yep.
The first game is tonight, 9:00. So tune in.
Yeah, and Friday and Sunday. Yeah, Friday.
So I think they're trying to relatively get this thing over really quickly because they're trying to get to the draft.
Yeah.
And get the next season started.
Because I think they said January.
Yeah, so
this is when they're trying to get the next season.
I feel like they're going to accelerate these games if they possibly can. But speaking of acceleration,
this joint accelerate.
Yeah, Jaguar Wright has. For those who don't know, she's a songstress, also an MC and a writer. You might have seen her on Jay-Z's Unplugged.
That was like her
big moment.
The big moment was
She's with the Roots for a little bit. If you get a chance, you can go on YouTube and see some of these things. Now, again, I'm not telling people to watch these to downgrade the men that she's talking about. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know what the truth is, but I am the type of person that if someone is trying to tell you something, you should at least listen, and then you can walk away from it.
Take what you want from it.
Take what you want from it. Supposedly, the Soul Aquarians as a whole, because she's gone in on all the Soul Aquarians.
Yeah, she went in.
Yeah, so that's the Roots, Common, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, who else? D'Angelo, and there's somebody else.
I'm trying because I know that
I think that's kind of the core.
That's I was about to say that's the core.
So she must have had a lot of time around these folks, and is basically now like airing them out. She's also aired out Diddy. I don't know if you heard the Diddy story.
Nah. So the only one. So when we had talked, and I was like, and I remember seeing like there was some stuff that happened at OK Player. This is before that. So I remember like the OK Player doing a post about it and kind of explaining the situation. And then so when you had talked, and I remember hearing something about Common, and I was like, all right, I heard rumblings of it. I really didn't like check into it, see anything. So when you started talking about that, it was like, oh, that's what. Okay. That was the joint. You know what I mean? So the one that I had, watched that she had did a live on, and I think an interview on another platform was about Common and Jill Scott, Erykah Badu. It was that one.
Yeah. Okay. So there's another story that she kind of broke. Now, I'm going to give a disclaimer because I want people to understand that, like, I don't shame anybody for what they do. Whatever you do behind closed doors is your business.
It's your piece.
Right? That's your business. Whatever you're into is your business. So apparently she had a friend that was working for Bad Boy. And Bad Boy was trying to sign Christopher Williams, the singer. Remember the guy that's in New Jack City? Yeah. Don't wake me. Yeah. So she basically says that the lady is coming into Diddy's office to give him some paperwork that she had like gone over, and she's like, normally his door's unlocked, she can just go in there, and that's how she normally addressed Diddy. So she says she opens the door, and Christopher Williams and Diddy are getting it in, right? And like to me, I don't really care about the story. Like if that's Diddy's preference. It's Diddy's preference. Yeah. I think the thing that made the story highlightable, if that's a word, is because Diddy clamors this life of billionaire playboy. Got many women and all this type of thing, and that's not even like really what you're. That's not what you're into. That's not what you're based off what she's saying. She also has claimed that Common tried to place his member in her face and in her mouth regions while she was asleep. So these are things that, like, because especially for like the Soul Aquarian group, right? She's claimed that Jill Scott has basically slept her way into her current fame,
and she really has a problem with. I was like, it seems from what I watched, and it's one of those things to where, like you said, anytime a person is speaking on those types of things, you never want to just jump out and be like, "Oh nah, you lying." Yeah, like or even on the opposite. "Oh nah, what she said is Bible." Like,
like I don't know if it's true or
like
not.
Accusation, but you could tell that like her and Black Thought, like I don't know what happened. Yeah, but she has a real issue. Yeah.
She don't even call him Black Thought.
She don't even call him Black Thought. She call him by his real name. Yeah, she call him
Tariq Trotter.
Tariq Trotter. And I was like, man, I was like, man, something to where you even watching it, like I've seen stuff where I'm like, okay, you sound like I don't know, like not believable.
Yeah.
But it sounds like as if there like was some real hurts, some
Yeah,
real
I think
issues,
they were
like,
dating. I personally think they were dating, and I don't think things ended off well.
Well, yeah, no, when she says that in the one that they had a relationship, I don't know if it was an affair, a relationship, something like that. But and then I know it was, you know, I like sometimes you'll hear stuff over here, and then over here, and then you'll hear a person that kind of like hints to some of those things. You go, okay, maybe there is some truth to it, in the sense of, because I know, man, is it Malik B that just passed? That just passed, and I know there was a couple joints that I had listened to where it was saying like he was really like
he was the foundation. He was the foundation.
He was like way nicer. Like he didn't push through and like I guess want as far as like the limelight. You know what I mean? But that he was like doper than Black Thought. You know what I mean? And I've heard him on a couple joints and heard him spit, and he was nice as a rapper. But just from what she was saying, it's just like he was nice, like freestyle, all of that. You know what I mean? And she made it seem more or less as if it was a thing of like Tariq didn't want that to happen. Like Tariq didn't want him to shine. And so it's like one of those things, like I said, it's hearsay because you just don't know, because you're like they say, what is three sides to a story? Like your side, her side, and the truth.
And that's how I felt, but it was just like, because I hold some of these people in such high regard, it was interesting for me to look into, because I was like, hold up. And then when she starts saying things, and then you start looking at the activities and actions of these people, you be like,
it makes you take a step back.
Like maybe she might be telling the truth. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was just wild, because like you don't normally, those guys aren't shown in that type of light
at all. And that like when I was watching, I'm like, oh, for real? Like, you know what I mean? Because like you said, those aren't the people that you necessarily are thinking of. Like there's certain people, if I hear something about them, I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds about right.
All right. And
then there's some people where it's like, for real? Like, you know what I mean?
Like the Diddy story. Because I've heard 50 Cent say some stuff. And I be believing 50 Cent. I know I shouldn't believe him sometimes. But he be 50 is one of them dudes, like when he be talking, I be like, it might be the truth.
Because like you said, because he's given some of both. But it's believable when he say it, so you be like, maybe it is.
It might be. So I think
and my hopes is that they speak out.
I've been waiting to see.
I think that's always, and like I've never been in one of those type of situations, so I can never say how a person should handle it. But I would think, like I would even going back to like the Meg and Tory situation, I think sometimes your silence in a situation can kind of be the nails in the coffin for you, because you now give another person the opportunity to paint the narrative. So even if you come after the fact and be like, well, nah, this is what happened, it's kind of like, yo, this happened like 3 months ago. Like you're just saying something. You know what I mean? So it does lead for that. Whereas when you speak on it right away, it allows you to at least get your story out there, your side of where you may have seen things from. Because I also understand that like, and we talked about it the other day, where it's like a person could have met me, you know what I mean, at 20 and been like, yo, he's a jerk. He's the most horrible dude you ever met. And then somebody else met me at 30 and was like,
man,
yo, he's the nicest, he's the greatest guy that I've ever met. Like, what are you talking about? He's a jerk.
I ain't never seen that guy like that.
Exactly. So as we grow and we have different life experiences and stuff like that, different people meet us at different stages, and can take different things from us. You know what I mean? So but watching it was definitely like intense. That's the one word that I can say. It was intense.
It feels true
because you could feel her pain, and even if her pain is misdirected, which can also happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even if it does come out that it's like, okay, there are some truths and there are some things that aren't some untruths, so there's some misdirection. Like there's something happened in some way, shape, or form. Whether it was just relationship based, whether it was business based, something happened that blackballed her or turned her off to those individuals who at one point she looked at as family. And I've been in those situations where like you've been around people and it's like, yo, and then you find out and you be like,
man,
oh snap!
I
Like,
that.
I didn't know that. They was like, and I was riding for you.
Yeah,
like I was
crazy.
riding for you. I didn't even know that you was.
The thing that makes it believable is because the stories I get, and again, this could just be bitter people from the business, but you can't hear it 400, 300 times and then be like,
bitter.
Yeah, everybody's just bitter at like the music and entertainment industry is morally and sexually corrupt to some degree, right?
Yeah.
The world itself is morally and sexually corrupt. So I can imagine a business such as that being.
And you see it in Hollywood. You see it like what Terry Crews said, going to
and somebody
audition and a director touching his junk. Like, you know what I mean? So, so it's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't have been the one to just be like, you just let it happen.
Terry big
yeah,
dude.
you too big to just let
like,
somebody.
Man, what you doing,
you can't just have somebody.
Hey, man, stop playing, man.
Now, if it's willingly, hey, do your thing.
He said he didn't say anything.
But unwillingly, you just gonna unwillingly grope me?
Nah, bro.
Nah, son, not gonna happen.
I'd be like, man, you better. Get your hands
I
up.
guess I'm gonna
that tight grip on your wrist.
I'm gonna just
have
to find another role. Like, I guess
I'm not gonna be in white chicks.
Yeah, you're not just gonna be rubbing my gym, and I didn't give you permission. Like, nah, son. Nah, and especially not.
I'm not trying to shame Terry Crews as a victim. I guess I kind of am.
Oh yeah, my bad. I didn't even think about that. But
yeah, but it's just like I don't know.
And I could.
It's just weird.
This is how I say it. I'll speak for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't let no one touch me.
I'm not letting nobody do that to me.
Nah, not
whatever you do is what you do. That's what you do.
And again, like I said, sexual preference is just like anything else. Like if I like chicken, I like chicken. If I like vegetables, I like vegetables.
You like onions on your burger.
I don't
like onions on my burger.
Don't want to be in an intimate relationship sexually with a man. That is just something that I do not want to do. I don't.
If you
anybody that does,
do
that's your business. But if that's not something that, like, for instance, if somebody was to come to your kitchen and you like, man, I'm a vegetarian, and they be like, here's some meat on a plate, you gonna eat the meat. And you like, no, I'm not going to eat the meat. I'm a vegetarian. It's the same thing as me saying, I don't want to be touched in that way by another man. I should have that right to say so.
1,000. And
it shouldn't be like, oh, you're homophobic. Like, no, like some of my best friends are gay men. Like, I know a bunch of gay guys that I find to be cool dudes. I don't mind hanging out with them.
I just don't want manly hands.
I just don't want no one to touch me in that way. Like. I mean, you guys can say what you want or take how you feel, but it's just that's the reality of the situation. You're not gonna make me feel bad because that's not my preference, and I'm not homophobic, so I don't want to hear that mess. But just to hear Jaguar's story, and to see where black women are in America, right? And the quote or the saying right now is protect black women.
Black women,
and it makes you just want to at least listen to the story.
And that's the only reason that I listened, because it was like, first off, the names that were attached to it, but then, like I said, sitting and listening to her sit with her husband and like, you know, I don't know, all the extras. Like anytime it was like the extras, I'm like, all right, I'm good on the extras. But when she was talking about like her personal encounters and situations, and you could see, I was like, either she's a great actress, because the pain, like you could see it. You could see that, there's a pain there. Like I said, I don't know what that pain is from. You know, that pain could be from a multitude of things. But just hopefully, that she finds some peace, and that peace comes in whatever way, shape, whether it's justice, whether it's closure, whatever it is, because like you said, we don't necessarily know the ins and outs of the situation. It's just one person's side of what's being said.
It's rough, and I think that's why I think a couple weeks ago we talked about just knowing your worth and your value, because a lot of times, especially for people like us, right, who are creative, we're always thinking of the next best thing and trying to move ahead with more creative arts types of things. Sometimes the dollar signs that are attached with those type of accomplishments can have you lower your standard a little bit about things that concern you personally, about your integrity and the things that you value. And I think
because of the thing that it affects. Like oftentimes we'll look at it and go, like, even as family, we'll be like, man, so that'll take care of my wife.
Yeah.
Take care of the kids. Like it'll take care, and it can cause you in wanting to be the typical standard of what they say a man is supposed to handle everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get in those situations, it can cause you to look past things that you would normally. And I think tying in with the Terry Crews situation, man, like saying that there's the part that, like I said, for me, I couldn't do it.
No.
But I could understand a person going, man, yo, but I got daughter in college. I got, you know what I'm saying? I need to make sure that this role is
maybe
taken.
I'll just let him grow.
Just let him do what he did.
And then
they about to cut this check.
Yeah.
I get this job.
That's
so
what I said.
I
know it's hard.
And so it definitely is a thing that's hard. And I think at the end of the day, you have to do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And you have to do what you feel that you could live with.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah,
on that
straight.
particular thing, I'm good. I'll go find something else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's one of those things that you have to try not to compromise your morality for the path of getting ahead.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that's what happens is people will compromise what they know they don't really want to do, or they know that they, man, this isn't something I don't really do. I don't even rock with this, but it's going to get me to that next step. So let me just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And it'll get me to the next step, and then I can move on. And then you end up finding yourself in a situation where you're continuing to have to now do these things just to get to the next step. And there's always going to be something else and something else and something else. And I think that's where you get the Me Too's and, these situations of people who are in power that are abusing the power and going to take advantage of people because they know, oh man, there's a path to success and there's another path, but the road is a little windy. There's some bumps, there's some stop signs, but I got this straight shot if you just do this.
Yeah. And that's why it is so imperative that you guys go to patreon.com/UHRISE.
So that we don't have to get groped.
So we don't
to make a buck.
so we don't have to be sexually harassed to make great music and content for you guys.
Yes.
Again, go to patreon.com/UHRISE. You'll see the tiers there. We got a lot of good stuff coming.
Yes. Black Gold is available.
Yes, Black Gold is available right now. You can go on all streaming platforms, place in UHRISE or the UHRISE Collective, and we will pop up. Their fists will pop up.
Yep.
You can listen to the music. It's going to be really, really good. We got a lot of good music coming soon. We got a lot of things that we're working on. Icon Nation has a new season coming out.
You'll see us in some new gear.
Yeah, you'll see us in some new gear because we only wear that. So you're going to see us rotate the shirts that we got. Okay, all right.
They probably like, hey, why don't never wear the same shirt at the same time?
It's like, no, it's all right. All right, we're going. No, we did.
We did on the one episode. We both wore the salmon joint. Salmon. It's not pink. It's salmon.
While you're there, you can also go to the blog on Icon Nation and check out the segment that talks about the Stitch and Sham Show, and you can see some of the behind the scenes. We got another behind the scenes video
that's coming.
That's coming. We got a lot of good things. Again, head to your polls when it is time to vote. Make sure your voice is heard. We got to turn this country around. The whole reason that we were able to start the Stitch and Sham Show was because of things that happened with COVID. And me and Zoe are normally, normally works at a school. At the time, I was a contract engineer for a voiceover studio. We have done some other things, and we kind of ended up here, and we were like, look, let's make the best of the time that we have.
Sure.
And it has been going really, really well, and I'm just really proud of us as
because where it's like people that I don't even know that. So like, remember I told you Monday I had to go up to the school.
Yeah.
So I went up to the school, and one of the dudes I work with was like, hey, it's like, how you know? He's like, yeah, man, I actually started watching some of the episodes of you do like a thing. He didn't know what to call it. He's like, thing. It's like another guy. I was like, oh, our podcast. He was like, yeah. He was like, I watched the one y'all did on like Black Panther, and then I started watching other joints. Like, he was like, man, I really like this joint.
So
that was dope to see. Like,
it's coming along really well. It's something that, like I said, I really enjoy. This is something that me and Stitch do anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
we probably wasted, like more episodes than we've done on the phone.
Or in the car. Or like we basically, since COVID, probably have seen each other at least 3 times a week.
Yeah. And then this weekend it was a lot because this weekend.
Oh yeah, this weekend. Shout out to Candace and Omari.
Yep.
Pearson. It was Candace's birthday, and we went and celebrated at Top Golf.
Yep.
We had a great time. Those are our people. Those are our family. So happy birthday, belated birthday, Candace. And then, shout out to the big homie Omari.
And then my son, his
birthday was on Friday.
So I flew him up.
Yep.
For his birthday, because you know that's what we do.
He got him flued out.
Getting money out here.
He got him flued out.
So I flew him up for the weekend. Yeah. So he got to see his cousin, got to see some of his friends. They stayed the night over at the house. Went to the VR. Shout out to Shantae.
Shout out Shantae DeMar.
So they had a great time at the virtual reality spot. And then played basketball, and now he's back. In school, so so
it was a really great weekend. It was pretty dope.
Yeah, it was a packed weekend.
I didn't even really think about how
we did
dope
Top Golf.
We
drove up to Dulles, what I mean. It was
good.
A dope weekend. So
I think because maybe because we that's probably the most packed weekend I can think of.
Yeah, I haven't had a weekend this weekend was since COVID had started. This was probably the most packed weekend where it was on Friday we took them to VR. Everyone spent the night at the crib. Yeah. We had the taco bar at the crib. Then the next morning, they left out. Mm-hmm. We went to Top Golf. We met up with y'all. Drove up to Top Golf. The next morning, Sunday morning, woke up.
Play basketball.
Took them to play ball. They played ball. Then we drove to
drop Malachi off at the airport.
At Dulles. Sat at Five Guys.
Yeah,
for
40 minutes. That was crazy.
Come on, Five Guys. Y'all need to add 5 more guys, and y'all could have made our food faster.
Where's that at? Where's that Five Guys?
Leesburg.
Come on, Leesburg.
Yeah,
Five Guys.
I mean?
Y'all had a whole.
Y'all had 10 guys there.
People was in that show mad as a
people was in there mad. DoorDash people.
Yeah, they was like, "Come on, man, what you
upset.
doing?"
It was only funny because at one point we sitting right. Me and Sham's son is sitting down, so he's stands up. He's like, I'm gonna go ask and see what's going on.
I know what you about to say.
So Sham's 6'2". What, you 6'3"? 6'2", 6'3"?
I'm probably in between 6'2" and 6'3".
So 6'2", 6'3", probably 260, right?
Yeah.
So he stands up, and the dude is this little white kid behind the milkshake machine, and he making these milkshakes. And he I see him look up, why is he standing up?
Well, you gotta remember that question he asked prior.
Because a bunch of
I stood up.
When you stood up,
when I stood up, he was like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "Bro, I got sandwiches. I'm still waiting on."
I'm just trying to see where my sandwich is at. So he never sits down.
No,
so he goes back. He goes back to making the milkshakes. So then Sham walks around, and Sham is just standing there, just waiting for his food, and dude keeps looking up, and I say to his son, I'm like, yo, he just messed up 4 milkshakes. He messed up
he just
4
throwing them in the
milkshakes.
trash.
Throwing them joints in the trash because he's more focused on why is he standing there than what shake am I supposed to be making. Yo, when I say that joint was
But the crazy thing is
funny.
the staff that was getting on him as we were ordering are now not paying attention. So they don't see that he's threw 6 shakes in the trash.
Just tossing them joints. He started
full cups of milkshake in the trash.
Throwing them joints away, man.
Man, that joint was crazy.
But it definitely
was a good weekend.
Jam-packed weekend.
So again, you guys enjoy your weekend.
Yes.
Spend time with family, spend time with friends. As we see, time is growing short.
Facts.
Loved ones are passing away. And, if you have the time to tell someone that you love them, that you care about them, make sure that you do. Again, because tomorrow is not promised. So, again, we thank you guys. Head to the Patreon. Head to UHRISEmusic.com. Keep watching.
Yes.
Like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us comments. Tell us, things that can help us get better and bring better content to you guys. And we thank you guys for tuning in. I am Sham Phoenix.
I'm Stitch Shirley.
And this is the Stitch Sham Show. Peace.